Well, hello once again. This is a Flying Scotsman, but it's not my Flying Scotsman. I'm not sure what the R number of this one is. It's one of the made in China models that Hornby did. It's a tender-driven locomotive, and as I say, it's not mine. This was sent to me by one of my subscribers called Dave, who asked if I would take a look at it for him. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll have a look at it. I can't guarantee I'll be able to do anything with it, but I'll certainly take a look at it. And the problem he described is when there was no traction tyres on the tender, it would go, but not go particularly well. And when the traction tyres are on, it doesn't work. Power on, and you can see nothing happens. But I've noticed if you press down, you just lightly on the locomotive it goes. So I'm pretty sure there's some kind of connection issue somewhere between the wheels of the locomotive and the ring-field motor in the tender. Also just touching the linkage, see it just goes there like that. So there's something just not quite connecting properly. So I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to take the locomotive body off and tender body off just to have a proper look to see how the electrics work. I've not worked on this model, so I don't know, so it's going to be interesting to see. But pretty sure this is just a pickup problem between the locomotive and the tender somewhere. That's it wants to go. So there's just something not quite connecting right. Okay, let's have a look at it. Alright, okay. If you look at the connection, the coupling between the locomotive and the tender, it's got two little contacts there and there, and there's a brass connector there, and then there's another couple of contacts there. So it's, this is doing quite a lot. I mean, it may be something as simple as, one of these wires is broken, because between the rear bogie moving and this moving, there's quite a lot of movement on those wires. So it could just be a broken wire, but we can test that. But first we need to get this body off. It's a bit nerve-wracking working on someone else's thing. I've repaired a few things for other people. I've not repaired a locomotive for anyone else, so this is a first. But, oh, come on, that's tight. It's always a bit odd to me, because, if I'm working on something of my own, I think, I'll just bash into it. But when it's someone else's thing, you don't want to break it, and you don't want to make it worse than it is. My, that was screwed in tight. And unfortunately, the service sheet for this, there's more than one service sheet for Hornby Flying Scotsmans, and I think the one that is relevant to this doesn't tell you how to take the body off or the tender casing off, so I'm kind of on my own, as usual. But that little screw comes out. I don't think that's been taken out very often. Now it does that, just lift off, and I'm pretty sure at this end it's just clipped in like that. There we go. Okie dokie, we shall put this body somewhere nice and safe, because I don't want to drop a hot soldering iron on it or have one of my dogs eat it or something, so I'll put it away nice and safely. Okay, so look at these little wires here under this bit of tape. They're very fragile looking, they're very twisted, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's where the problem is. I think what I need to do is to set up a test track here before I do anything else. Okay, so power on. Just going to put my hand here to stop it if it goes. Just going to fiddle with these wires. Nothing happening there. Nothing happening there. Yeah, it's just when you tap that, it goes. But if I fiddle with these wires, it's not. So I don't think it's the wiring. Okay, time for the inspection glasses, because I want to have a very close look at the pickups, because there is pickups on either side of the locomotive. So all the locomotive wheels are conductive. The middle one on this side is only contacting on one side, That one's barely contacting. And that one is barely contacting. So I think that's the problem. So all 6 wheels are conductive, and a couple of them are barely touching, and one of them isn't touching at all, and the others are quite dirty. So we need to get those pickups out and give them a good clean and give them a little bit of a bend so that they're making good contact again, and I'm pretty sure that will solve the problem. Now, okay, to do that we're going to have to get into here. So we shall remove the front bogie. They haven't designed this with servicing in mind, have they? So the contacts are connected to the underframe, which is all connected to the wires, to these wires, which is connected to the contacts on the rear bogie. So what I need to do, and this is going to be very fiddly, and they cross, so the wires from this side come across to here, and the wires on this side go across to there, just to make it more fun. So I need to twist that round, and then I can start thinking about pulling that off down there. Is that how it goes? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Alright, so there are the contacts, and they are dirty and they're a bit squashed flat. So we'll clean them and we'll pull them out so they're making good contact with the wheels. They're actually in a bit of a state. You'll never see this on camera, but the ends of a couple of these pickups have actually worn through. That one's okay, that one's worn through, that one's worn through, that one's okay, that one's wearing through. And they're okay on that side. That's interesting. So we'll clean them up. Ideally, that the entire pickup should be replaced. I think it'll work once it's cleaned up and once they're making good contact. But at some point, this will wear through completely and probably will need to be replaced. Right. Cleaned up a bit. Now let's see if we can just bend these out a bit. I don't know how fragile these are going to be. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at the inside of the wheels. Where we can give these a bit of a polish. So I'm hoping that cleaning those contacts and bending them to make better contact with the wheels and cleaning the wheels will do the job. I want to screw this down and make sure the wheels are moving freely. Because this underframe part is actually holding a lot of things together. Okay, so the underframe's on and the rear bogey's on. I've just got to sort these wires out a little bit. But I think we're good. But a very fiddly job is the little brass bushes that kept popping out of position. Right, let's see if this works. So put the tender on, and fingers crossed. Yeah, there we go. Problem solved. So it was just very poor, take that off, very poor connections on the pickups on the wheels, or the collectors, I believe they're given their proper name. Right, tidy these wires up. That one's supposed to go in there like that, I think, and then that one like that. Okay, very oddly, there are pickups on the wheels on the tender that have traction tyres. I mean, that's daft. Why would you want to try and, conduct electricity through something that's got a piece of rubber wrapped around it? So I mean, that's why this was having a problem. There was no connectivity from the locomotive, and any connectivity, any connection via the track from the tender alone was getting interfered with by the traction tyres. So take the traction tyres off, you get a connection, it'll go, But it won't run very well without traction tyres on because, you know, it's designed to have traction tyres. Right. I'd quite like to get a wee look in here just to see what sort of condition the motor's in, because while I've got it, I may as well service it. I don't see how else this comes apart unless it's clipped together somehow, and I don't like things that clip together. Actually, this kind of feels like it's coming apart now. Yeah, there we go, there we go. So it's the Hornby Ringfield motor, which is looking in very good condition actually. Apologies there, I thought my video was running and it wasn't. So I've taken the front off the Ringfield motor and polished up the commutator, and I thought I was filming all that time and I wasn't. Well. Right, okay. That's the brushes clean, the commutator's clean. There we go. That clips in, contacts in place, and we just have to put these brushes back in. Drop the brushes in. And then the springs. Just get that to stay there just now. And then we'll pop this one in. Right, plug that into there, like so. Right, we better test to make sure that everything's working. Cool. Alright, okay. What we'll do now is a few wee spots of oil, because it is a little dry, just on the gear there. You don't want to put too much oil on the gears on the wheels, because if the oil spreads into the wheel then you start getting connection and traction issues. So, right, let's put this back together. Thankfully my screwdriver is magnetised, so we can get down in there. Bullseye. So body on, put the front bogie on. Okay, job done. Let's go and try it on the layout, see what it looks like. Right, let's power up. And off she goes. So there we are, it's running really nicely now. Very nice locomotive, runs nice and smooth. Dave, problem solved. It's a nice model this. Dave's done some nice detailing on it. Got the deflectors and the nameplate at the front there. The vacuum pipes. And I don't know if you can see, but there's some detail in the cab, just at the front of the tender there. So yeah, very nice model, and makes my old Flying Scotsman look horrendous and sound horrendous. So this is Dave's one. That's what it sounds like. And here comes my old one. So having played around with this and seen it running, yeah, I think I'm going to get myself an up-to-date Flying Scotsman at some point. But meantime, I'm going to get this packed up and sent back off to Dave. Catch you later, folks.